You may have seen we've added Diaz, Hall, and Urias to the player pool. They will be starting out working out in Bowie. We also added Malone and LeBlanc to our 40-man roster, as reported. And a little news on Ty Block and Richie Martin. Their surgeries went extremely well yesterday. Really happy with our medical staff is very happy with how their surgeries went. These next 3 days, we're having 3 games of inter squads, a little different. We're doing an orange versus white, and that I had some captains. We selected teams. There's a little bit of internal competition going on, where we have captains, and I wanted to make it as competitive as possible. So they're going to be around 7 innings. We're hoping that we make it as game-like as possible with crowd noise, PA. We got their umpires again. Scoreboard's going to work. So we're going to make this as game-like as possible. It should be fun. We split up the coaching staffs also.
All right. Thanks, Brandon. Rock, you can start us off with questions. Go ahead.
Hey, Brandon. Is there anything new on Dylan Tate on his elbow?
Still day-to-day. Still having some soreness. Hasn't thrown yet. So hoping to get a ball in his hand here pretty soon, but there's still some swelling in there. We're just waiting for that to calm down.
Dan Conley, you're up next. Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, Brandon, it's kind of hard to see with the glare so much. So see what I can do here. But
I want to make this a dark room.
So, hey, I know you're always optimistic, and trying to look at the bright side on how this season may play out even in March. But now, given that it is 60 days, do you feel more optimism on the chances of competing because it's a shorter time and maybe more unpredictable, or is it kind of the similar level of optimism you had in March?
Oh, this is as unpredictable as it gets. It's a super short season. I do think anything can happen, and with the question marks from a health standpoint, I think every series is going to be different, and so you just never know in this type of year. Normal short season, but even more so this year with the testing and the health concerns and the concerns that we all have league-wide from keeping our guys healthy, from soft tissue stuff, pitchers not being built up, all those type of things that we worry about comes more into play in a season like this.
Nathan Ruiz, you're up next. Go ahead, Nathan.
Hey, Brandon, with LeBlanc and Malone being added, it really sets up for your guys' staff to be a lot more veteran. What do you think the benefits of that will be for you guys this year?
Yeah, it's 2 guys that have done this for a while now in the league. It's very helpful. They've navigated through tough lineups before, and I think some veteran experience not only on the mound but in the clubhouse is key. And both those guys, it's well known around the league how much those guys are respected and how professional they are. So adding both those guys is a big boost for not just on the field but in our clubhouse.
Rich Dubroff, you're up next. Go ahead, Rich.
When you send Mountcastle back to Bowie for the alternate camp, is it necessary that he masters a position, that he masters left field before he's promoted, or could you see him as being promoted as a DH type?
Well, I'd rather not promote somebody as a DH ever, but I do feel like we're really putting a plan together for him to get as much left field reps as possible, with first base being kind of a secondary position at this time. So we want him to work in left field and get him as comfortable as we possibly can, from spring training till now and going forward, is to really get him to continue work on a daily basis in left field.
Joe Trezza, you're up next. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, Brandon, a few questions about the inter-squad games. Who are the captains? Who was the first pick? And what? I'm sorry?
That's concealed. It's concealed draft. We didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Okay, fair enough. Can the captains be revealed or just the picks?
Yeah, I'll reveal the captains. Yeah, I just picked the 4 guys with the most service time. It's nothing special. It was two pitchers with the most service time and 2 position players with the most service time, which was Cobb and LeBlanc. and Davis and Iglesias. So I matched a pitcher and a position player together on one team and vice versa. And then we did the draft was pitchers first and then position players. But as being the commissioner, I kind of was heavily influential on making sure it was even as best as I could.
Okay.
But it was pretty lively. The draft there's a lot of energy in the draft. There was some yelling back and forth on player who wanted who. So it was fun.
And one follow-up, what do you expect from the crowd noise experiment? Have guys been receptive to it? Do they want to see what it's going to be like? Just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we all want to see what it's like. I've never seen it before. So I know it's going around the league a little bit. I've kind of seen some stuff on Twitter and some other places where teams are piping in some noise, and I think it's interesting. So we're giving it a look-see here the next few days.
Steve Molesky, you're up next. Go ahead, Steve.
Joe took my question, so I'll add a follow-up to that. Do you think, Brandon, that's going to continue into the season, crowd noise in games, and what will it mean to the atmosphere?
Maybe we'll take a poll tomorrow in this group and see. We'll see who likes it and who doesn't like it. Brock, you're taking the poll, and we'll take a vote on who likes it, who doesn't like it, and that might influence us going forward.
Dave Ginsburg, you're up next. Go ahead, Dave.
President and Nathan are going to like it.
Brandon, 1 week until opening day, not yours. You've got 8 days, but this thing gets rolling 1 week from today. Are you at all surprised that it got this far, and how confident now that there's going to be a 60-game season?
I just got a note saying my internet is unstable. Jim set up my computer today. So can you ask me that one more time? It cut out on me. I'll do the computer setup from now on.
You're a week away from the baseball having its opening day. I'm just curious as to is there any surprise that you have that you got this far? Everyone got this far, and now with a week to go, how confident are you that you're going to get rolling here and have a 60-game season?
Well, I've been keeping my fingers crossed every day. So far, we're doing fairly well. We still have a ways to go before the 24th, and I'm as nervous as anybody that we're going to be healthy. I just really want to see our guys stay healthy. And I think that the league, it's real positive right now where the cases are at a minimum. It seems like league-wide. And I know people are making adjustments with a lot of things, but just my talks with people around the league, I think people are feeling positive about how it's worked so far and going forward. So, like I said, just really hoping that we stay healthy, that everybody in the league stays healthy, and that we can play the 60-game season.
Nathan Ruiz, you're up next. Go ahead, Nathan.
Hey, Brandon, with the season being a week away, have you guys ironed out in terms of size of the rotation, size of the pitching staff, how many catchers you want to carry? Have any of those things been locked in any way?
Nope.
Is that concerning to you, or is that kind of routine for this time?
I mean, I think we've narrowed down to, 6 or 7 guys from a rotation standpoint, but I think we have a decision to make on 3 catchers for sure. I think we're still narrowing down our I just don't want to, honestly, I don't want to jump to any conclusions on our roster when I don't know what's going to happen from a day-to-day basis. And so I don't want to promise anybody anything because things can change so much, especially this year. So we're keeping all of our options open for this next week. I'm hoping that everybody's ready to go on the 24th. But we still have, 6 really games to play, 3 inter squads, 3 exhibition games, and then a couple days of workouts before. So if I committed to these are our 5 starters and we're definitely carrying 2 or 3 catchers, I'd be lying because I honestly don't know.
Joe Trezza, you're up next. Go ahead, Joe.
Brandon, my question's kind of as a follow-up to that. I guess assuming that you could assume everything will stay okay health-wise, I'm wondering, adding Tommy Malone to the roster last night, does that indicate that you're leaning any way in terms of role for Cole Stewart? Do you guys have an inclination of where you might, how you might want to utilize him, assuming everything goes well and stays healthy?
I think Cole's still a very, I think he's still a candidate to be in our rotation. I think he's a candidate to be a long man. I think he's a candidate to come in after an opener. I think that he's definitely a candidate to get a lot of innings this year. I'm really looking forward to his next start, which is, I can't see in here, today. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm in a dark room with a flashlight right on my face, so I apologize. So I'm looking forward to today. So it's LeBlanc versus Stewart today. So I think that I'm hoping that Cole continues to throw the way he's been throwing, that we don't have any hiccups, and is a big part of either our rotation or a long man in the bullpen when the season starts.
And how many innings is he scheduled to throw today?
I know this one, Jimmy. You don't need to look on the board for me. 5 for LeBlanc, 4 for Stewart.
Thank you.